What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Game Show presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I am your host, Simon, joined, as always, by my co-host, John Luke. But more importantly, we are joined by special guests today. We've got Cal, a.k.a. Calvin and Hobby, on Twitter. You may know him as a content creator over at DLF or the co-host of the Vipercast with Dynasty Vipers. He's putting out tons of awesome content. How's it going, Cal?
Man, I'm doing great. What is up, fellas? Excited to be here with you. And yeah, just as I was telling you pre-show, you guys are crushing it, killing it. Love what you're doing. Love your content. Excited to be on with you.
Oh, I appreciate that. We'll see how you feel at the end of this show after we argue about tiers.
Tiers usually gets a bit of an emotional reaction. Yeah. Before we jump into the actual tier list, though, Cal, you were telling us a little bit before the stream about this, kind of behind the scenes interview series you've been doing on your own. I wanted to hear a little bit more about that. You could tell our viewers a little bit more so they could go check that out.
Yeah, so that's what we've been doing with Dynasty Vipers, and it's Matt Donnelly, FF. You know, you guys may know him as Dingus. He's grown up now. He's Matt Donnelly, FF, and he put together this whole series, and his main point was to get a lot of the kind of the OGs of fantasy football, bring them on, the people in the fantasy community that really laid the groundwork for what we're able to do now, and tell their story, talk about what they did, how they got into the industry. We have some fun questions too, like their intro music and things like that, to try to just get to know them on a personal level a little bit better. And it's really fun. We've learned a lot. We've, made a lot of friends through the process with them, and, just hearing their stories and the grind that it took them to get to where they are now. It's just, so many of them, you leave, either you're laughing or you're, just impressed or you're inspired by kind of what they did. So.
Yeah,
here's Jay coming in singing your praises, saying the Behind the Grind series is phenomenal.
It really is. If you think that getting into the fantasy industry now is hard, man, try 20 years ago when there wasn't really an industry to get into. It's insane, some of these stories.
Yeah, like they talk a lot about having to fax their rosters over. Their ad drops. Some of them had to call like a 900 number and pay like $3.50 per transaction to do move somebody into their starting lineup or take somebody out. Like just some of the crazy things that we used to have to do. And now they didn't get their results usually on their matchup till Wednesday.
Right.
If I watch a guy score a touchdown, it doesn't show up immediately on my score. I'm like, what's happening? What's going on?
Yeah. Tweeting that sleeper. What's going on?
Exactly.
What's broken?
Right. So it's fun.
Yeah, a lot has changed, but I agree with Jail. That kind of stuff is my favorite, and it's crazy hearing the stories of some of these OG guys. Craig, welcome in. What's up? He said there's no crying in baseball or tears. Well, there might be some crying and tears. It happens from time to time. And Jordan says, where's Jeff? Actually, screw it. You guys are better. And Jeff piping in himself saying, yeah, screw that Jeff guy. He's hiding in the comments. What's up? What's up? Just say self-screw. What's up, Front Yard fam? And Ricky Butts, how's it going? Rick, yesterday, my Uber driver, literally, it was freaking me out so bad. He had the same exact voice as you. I would look away from him, and he was a chatty guy too, and he sounded exactly like it was frightening how much he had the same voice as you.
Very intimate that you would know his voice on that level.
Hey, if someone sounded like me, you would know it too. You'd probably be like, shut up. I hear enough of that voice. Z2 says, Front Yard fam, hot as ever. And Cal, you got flames on both sides, so you're included in that. And Brady says, what's up, guys? I'm listening on my AirPods while at the grocery store.
Get us some Brussels sprouts.
Man, I told you about this. I told you about this yesterday, but there was a tweet I saw a couple of days ago where someone said that people over 10 aren't allowed to eat cereal because it's for children only. And I tried, I really wanted to be snippy back because I felt personally offended, but I decided to just go the route of saying yep, I only eat Brussels sprouts because that's all adults can eat. But
eating cereal as an adult is the best. Whatever you want, there's no reason to not.
Yeah, there's no rationing. You get to have as much as you want. It's fantastic.
Rick says, should have replaced Jeff with Anna. We should have. I need to reach out to Anna. We still got to make that love connection. We're playing Matchmaker on the Front Yard Fantasy stream now, Cal.
All right.
Jordan says, Simon looks like – sorry, go ahead. Jordan says, Simon looks like the guy in accounting that takes pride in having the best stapler in the office. In reality, I'm the guy in accounting that loses his stapler every day and comes to your desks and asks you if I can borrow your stapler.
He's Kevin. Remember, I think we already determined this.
Anthony wants to know, what did you do to Josh? Jail, where is Josh today? I can't remember.
Oh, Josh. Jeff, you mean? Jeff,
yeah.
Jeff, well, Jeff was actually recruited on a very high stakes classified mission, but we'll tell you here because, we're cool like that. Jacques Cousteau actually recruited Josh to come explore Titanic again. They feel like maybe he left something down there. And so he asked Josh to come help be his eyes.
So hopefully he's back tomorrow. It could be a couple-day mission, though, but we'll see. Rick says, I like to think I have a sexy voice. That is why I talk so damn much. You know what? It is pretty sexy, Rick. We'll give it to you there. And Sully's back in here. What's up, Sully? Welcome in. Said he missed yesterday and that sucked, but we're glad to have you back today. And Jordan said Jeff's in the comment. He's going to be creeping the whole time. Cal, as I mentioned, sorry, go ahead, JL.
I didn't know you got internet connection deep in the ocean, but I guess you do.
Yeah, it's I think James Cameron installed it whenever he went down there. He brought the internet with him.
Good guy, James.
He said that was top secret, guys. Sorry, Jeff. We can't hide anything from the Front Yard fam. Guys, today we are going to be doing tier lists. We're going to be doing the next round tight end dynasty tiers part 2, and then we're going to be tiering baseball movies. There's some good ones in there, some ones I've got strong opinions on, some that I'll have to defer to JL and Cal on, but we'll get there when we get there. Cal, just to catch you up, this was what we started last week. Who helped us with this last week? Jordan Richards.
Yep.
Jordan Richards helped us start this tight end tier list last week, and we're going to finish up with the next 10 tight ends today. We'll probably do a part 3 next week as well, because you know what? There's so many interesting tight ends to talk about in Dynasty. But these are the next 10 according to Fantasy Pros rankings, and we'll start going through them. I'm going to move you up top so that my ugly mug gets covered by comments and not yours. Okay, guys. Just as a recap, our tier 1 was Travis Kelce, George Kittle, and Darren Waller. There was some debate on that. I just want to get your opinion on that, Cal. Do you think this is the correct tier 1? Would someone else be up there, or is one of these guys not belong in tier 1?
I forget which one of you guys were making the argument for putting Pitts up there.
Jordan Richards. That was Jordan.
Jordan, yeah. He obviously, I think Pitts can be there. I like you guys said, I'd like to see where he lands to see if I want to put him up that high. From a value standpoint, in the next couple of months, you may be able to get as much for Kyle Pitts as you can get for almost any tight end, just in dynasty trades. But I'm not ready to put him in tier 1 yet until we start seeing, where he lands and what kind of role they're going to have for him, things like that.
Completely agree. That's where I stand as well. There's just too much unknown right now, even though he is like the greatest tight end prospect we've seen in recent history. It doesn't always pan out, right? We had a question yesterday on Horse about first round tight ends drafted. And OJ Howard had an insane amount of hype as well. And he's the only first round tight end since 2015 that hasn't had a top 10 tight end finish yet in his career. So the hype doesn't necessarily correlate to success, but with Pitts, I feel like it's a slightly safer bet. He's a different kind of tight end. He's more of that Evan Ingram, but can catch the ball kind of tight end.
He's just a different kind of human, right? I mean, like he's a freak. Like it's going to be fun to watch him wherever he lands, because I don't care if they use a tight end or not. He's going to make them find a way to carve out a role for him. And he's one of the ones I can't wait to see where he goes. Miami would be so much fun. I know you guys mentioned that. I don't care that you have Gesicki. If you have a chance to take Kyle Pitts, you take Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, 100%. I was so high on Gesicki until this past season. And then watching him play this year, I realized it's kind of like a one-trick pony. I feel like he catches the ball and falls every time he catches the ball. Like he's not like a big yards after the catch guy, which is kind of like lowers his upside a little bit. But he's still fun to watch. But yeah, Miami would be awesome. And then there's the recent rumors tying Pitts to Atlanta, which could be really fun in that offense as well. Poor Hayden Hurst would lose relevancy the second he got it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was fun.
We were just talking about Gesicki, though. He is the next one up on this list. Cal, we'll go to you first. Based on what we've got here so far, where would you throw Mike Gesicki? What tier do you think he belongs in?
So I just recently went through and did my tight end rankings about 2 weeks ago, and I tier them as well. And so I've got him in my personal 5th tier. Now, it looks a little bit than what you guys have here. I have him below Evan Ingram, who I see there in number 5. So based on this list, I'd make a case for him being at 6.
John Luke, what about you?
I was going to say somewhere between 4 and 5. I think I have him right in between Ingram and Fant. I don't know which one I'm leaning, though. I guess I'd put him in 4.
And 4. And you know what? I'm going to split the difference with you guys. I kind of view him similarly to Evan Ingram. I like the upside of Evan Ingram a lot more than the upside of Mike Gesicki. But that being said, we've seen time and time again Ingram not live up to that hype outside of his rookie year. Like, he showed us what he could do, but it was all volume based that year. But it's still there. You still have the hope that you're hanging on to with Evan Ingram, right? So I would put Mike Gesicki in tier 5, I think. So with a 4, 5, 6, we can perfectly average that out to tier 5. Gesicki is going to land there with Ingram. We can put him behind Ingram. There we go. So Ingram will stay a little bit ahead of him. The next one we're talking about is a really interesting one in my eyes, Dallas Goddard. I feel like the opinions on where he should land are all over the place. John Luke, we'll come to you first on Dallas Goddard. Where are you putting him? Is he in that like Robert Tonyan range? Is he above him? Is he closer to Mark Andrews, Hawk? Where are you putting Goddard?
My gosh, I didn't even, for some reason I was thinking Fant was in tier 4.
No, that's Tonyan. Remember with
Tonyan, right? Yeah.
with that hair. I mean, look at that.
Look at that. Man, that guy F's.
That's him up the tier right there. I mean, just
right
yeah.
there.
Just the slick back hair alone gets him into tier 3.
I have him right near Fant. So I think tier 3 is probably where I'd have him. God, I don't have him that far off from Gesicki though, so that kind of ruins it. But yeah, I would put him in 3.
Cal, what about you? Where do you stand on Dallas Goddard?
I have him and Noah Fant basically tied in my rankings. So I'm 100% with JL on this one. I think he's got the upside to get over 100 targets in the offense that he's in, and potentially even for the next few years he could.
Yeah.
Zach Ertz, I'm not sure he's going to even be with the team next season. But even if he is, I feel like he's going to command more targets than him. He has the biggest thing is staying healthy. And Noah Fant, on the other hand, similar thing. Pat Shurmur's offense has always featured a tight end. I feel pretty confident he's going to get a pretty good target share as well, even with some good weapons there. Incredible athlete, but I ended up with Goddard right below Fant in my rankings.
I'm right around there with you. Anthony said Gesicki tier 4, so we weren't too far off of what you said. And NBA said, "What up, beautiful folks?"
What
for
up,
this
NBA?
stream. Welcome in, NBA. Glad to have you here. And Jay said he wants Pitts to the New York Giants. He won't make it there, but he can dream. That would be fun. What are you just going to replace Evan Ingram? And Anthony, I'm so sorry. I ruined it again. He said colors are backwards again. This is an outrage. We'll fix it for next week. I'll have the tier color.
It's going to be a good episode when the outrage starts before we even get into the real meat of the tiers.
I'm not sure if I threw this one up there, but Rick said, "Oh no, I'm going to get pissed off today." I'm guessing baseball movies. He already knows he's going to hate our baseball movie takes. And Josh said Pitts and Mike Gesicki could play on the field at the same time too. Yeah, they absolutely could. They could run some 2 tight end sets down there. NBA has a question. So Simon, would you pay $10 million for Clowney or take Kwity Paye at the 26 spot as a Browns fan? It's a good question. I mean, I guess they just paid $10 million for Clowney, so I'll take it. Like, I'm not going to complain. I think that's a totally reasonable salary to pay for a former number 1 overall pick. But I know he hasn't quite lived up to the hype. But I think having Myles Garrett on the other side is probably going to help him out a bit. So I'm really excited to see that. Bookend number 1 picks on our D-line is going to be exciting.
Why not both? I mean, you can't have too many pass rushers on your team. I mean, Kwity Paye is really good too. I love him. So yeah, that's it. As a Browns fan, getting all those guys in there on your D-line, that'd be nice.
Yeah, that's not mutually exclusive. Yeah, signing Clowney doesn't mean they're not going to go that way at 26. So that's a great point.
Can you imagine a whole defense of pass rushers? That would be so scary and so easy to beat.
Anthony said Jeff isn't doing tiers because he never says where he thinks they should go. He just says he's okay with whatever someone else said. That's true. We kicked him off for tiers, replaced him with Cal. And Taylor Cornell is in here saying, "Hey, I'm just here He's here to harass you, Cal. That's what he's doing. He always comes and says, "I'm here to harass the guest."
Good. Bring it on, Taylor.
He never falls through. He just threatens.
Josh coming in with the explanation for Anthony saying for the colors, I think that the top is red because they are hot. Yeah, that works. 100% planned. An NBA said 2 sacks last 2 seasons are worth $10 million. I mean, I don't think you can break the math down like that. I don't think they're paying defensive ends per sack whenever they sign a new contract. He's still got the talent. It hasn't worked out. But Jadeveon Clowney, I saw someone post it this way, like, you can argue that he hasn't been the best player in the league, but from an athleticism standpoint, Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney are 2 of, if not the 2 most athletic D-line players in the entire NFL. It just is a matter of putting that together. Anthony accepted your reasoning, Josh. He's all cool with it. And Taylor says, excuse me, but where's Drew Sample? Next episode. We'll make sure to get Drew Sample in there.
Yeah.
Actually, that might be like 3 or 4 episodes.
We'll just do a Drew Sample tiers. A whole
Drew
tiers list for Drew Sample.
He got mossed, right? We got Thaddeus Moss over there in Cincy now. That's Joe Burrow's guy.
True.
Did he sign with Cincinnati? I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Nice. We'll see if he makes the team. Josh said, Simon, when you say Cal, you sound like you're Cartman from South Park saying Kyle. Oh, damn it. Now I'm going to be self-conscious about it the rest of the stream. Dallas Goddard, though, I was saying I completely agree with you guys. I think right there around Fant is where I have him. I think I would have him slightly above Fant just because we've seen what Zach Ertz was able to do in that offense. And I think Dallas Goddard is like just as good of a tight end, if not better than Zach Ertz. So I would put him slightly above Fant, but in that same range. Those guys are in the same tier for me.
It will be a different offense. That's worth noting.
It will be a different offense entirely, 100%.
No Fant is 23 years old.
That's wild. That's really wild.
And I mean, he's 20. Goddard's 26, which is
26,
still young for a tight end.
But
still,
23
doesn't feel
years
like
old.
there's a 3-year difference there.
No, it doesn't. I guess because he's been sitting behind Zach Ertz, so we haven't thought about him too much until recently. Ricky Butt says need a Brown tier for Sample. Yeah, we'll have to add a tier 9, maybe a tier 10 to fit him in here. We'll go from there. Hunter Henry is up next. And you know what I think we should do? I think we should do Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith next. We'll change up the order. The 2 new tight ends with the New England Patriots. Cal, how do you feel about Hunter Henry?
So of the 2, I put Hunter Henry below Jonnu. I think both of them are probably nothing new. They're going to cannibalize each other, I think, like everybody else thinks. But I think there's enough room for both of them to still be kind of back end tight end ones in terms of redraft. I don't think I'm willing to put them there in my dynasty rankings, though, just because I have no idea how that's going to shape out. I have no idea what version of Cam Newton I'm going to get, or if he's even going to be the guy. I mean, who knows?
Right.
Like, they could find a way to trade up and go get Trey Lance or go get, Mac Jones or somebody like that. Who knows what's going to happen there? So I think from a dynasty standpoint, I'm kind of playing that a little bit safer. I like the talent, but Jonnu, I mean, after a few weeks of being really good at the beginning of last season, I don't think he had much more than 12 points in a game the rest of the season. So it really fell off. Hunter Henry has trouble staying healthy. So not guys I'm going to invest in. I would actually put them like in that Evan Ingram range, but I know that might be a little controversial here.
JL, what do you think? Henry and Jonnu.
I think that they're both in tier 6.
Tier 6. You're going to put them even below Ingram and Gesicki.
Yeah.
Now,
I think personally I have Ingram and Gesicki probably in the same tier as Tunyon. And I think that we're going to run into little issues here where they're like, we're going to need some more tiers in these lower levels. But I think I'd put these guys a clear tier below both Gesicki and Ingram.
You know what? I hear what you're saying, Joe, but I think I tend to side a little bit more with Cal. It's weird to say, but I do think I would rather have Robert Tunyon on my dynasty team than Henry or Jonnu at this point. That feels a little bit dirty saying, but so in my mind, they're clearly below them. And then the question, it gets interesting whenever I start asking, would I rather have Hunter Henry or Evan Ingram? I'm not entirely sure. I think it might depend on like roster construction. What do my other tight ends look like? But so I think because of that questioning, they're gonna both be tier 5 guys for me.
I'm fine with having them in tier 5. I don't think that distinction is strong for me between those tight ends.
Yeah, completely agree. Guys, if you want to go
neck,
say that again.
Can we look at Jonnu's neck?
Good
Look
God.
at this guy. Oh my God.
Whoa.
You would not want to fight this guy. There's no way.
Look at compared to Hunter Henry's little scrawny neck.
Right.
And Hunter Henry's neck is huge, but Jonnu makes it look like a toothpick.
I think we have to rank Jonnu above him because of that.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
I can't get over Gesicki's cool guy photo. I just can't. It just gets me every time.
Yeah, he's so cool. Man, I can hardly stand it. If we keep moving up based on next guys, Jonnu's going to slowly find his way to the number 1 overall tight end.
That's right.
points per neck size. That's the next big thing in fantasy football.
PNS, penis.
Points per neck size, PPNS. PPNS.
We'll work on the
Josh
acronym.
says it's so difficult for me to separate Henry and Jonnu. Sully, do you think that Jonnu will be used more in New England? Because Sully just said I would have Henry in 5 and Jonnu in 4. So he seemed to agree with you there, Cal, that Jonnu is a tier above or just a little bit above. You didn't say tier, but that Jonnu is a little bit above Hunter Henry. Sully took it a step further. And Jay said Jonnu's neck is thicker than his head. It really is. It's incredible. Rick said you all have to pick one of these tight ends that you would want to fight. Oh, God. Maybe Zach Ertz. I just think maybe he's got the best chance of being hurt during the fight. I'm not sure.
Drew Sample?
Yeah, Drew Sample. That's the answer for
Sample.
everyone. We're all fighting Drew Sample if we have to fight a tight end. Who's the smallest out of all these guys? Cole Kmet looks the least intimidating out of all of them. Yeah, I'll fight Cole Kmet. How about that? And just piss off all of fantasy Twitter that's obsessed with him.
You would be canceled that day. You just no way. You couldn't do this anymore.
No, I wouldn't be able to. The outrage would be unreal. It would be worse than the time we picked New Girl over The Office. They would just
forcing you into this hypothetical. It's not your fault. You don't want to fight him.
I don't want to fight him, but I'm doing what I got to do for the stream. Sully said, Josh, yes, I think they will line him up all over the field. So he's excited about Jonnu in New England. And Rick said, LOL at Drew Sample. Man, I hope no one, wouldn't that be funny if Drew Sample just happened to see this and there's 3 random dudes saying we're going to fight him if we had to fight any tight end. And Roto Eats always said Goddard can take a punch. Did something happen? Has he taken a punch?
Yeah.
And I'm forgetting that story.
Yeah, didn't he get punched in a restaurant? Was that him or was that someone else?
Did he really? No, I must have missed that.
I think someone random punched him. Maybe I'm that's a different player entirely, but
there's already outrage. Jay said, how dare you, Simon Kmet is bae. Guys, if you want to see us create the first part of this tier list, you can
punch in a bar.
You can find it on our YouTube channel at Front Yard Fantasy. We had Jordan Richards on last week helping us create the first part of this tight end tier. So if you subscribe over there, you will never miss another one of these videos. You can go back and catch up on all of our tier lists. There's some good ones in there. Just don't ask Sully about the fruit one. He's still upset about the time we tiered fruit. And then Sully confirming he got suckered and KO'd in a bar last year. Yeah, so maybe Goddard. Maybe he just knows how to take a punch, so we can go with him. The next guy we've got up is again. I keep saying this, but I feel like after you get out of that top
KO'd,
3,
if you got KO'd, can you say you know how to take a punch?
Well, it depends what the criteria is. He knows how to take a punch if the criteria is getting knocked out.
Yeah, he had one of the worst possible outcomes of getting punched.
Josh said Sully's such a good point on Goddard about him being the one to fight. And then Sully's still upset about fruit. Effing fruit was embarrassing. Yeah, these suckers put grapes in the S tier. I don't know how you feel about that, but that is not an S tier fruit. It's disgusting. Great. That's what I'm saying.
They're delicious. They're so juicy. Red or green, doesn't matter.
I'm gonna, you know what? I'll eat grapes, but never on purpose. I never go out of my way to get grapes.
Where are you accidentally eating grapes?
If they're there, know what I mean? If I'm home, my mom puts out
just walking down the street and walk past a branch of grapes. Oh, I didn't want to eat that.
Well, you buy those fruit cups and you really want the strawberries and all that in it, but you
just can't navigate the fork.
Grapes in there. Yeah, they gotta fill room.
Yeah, I'll eat it. Jay with the horrible fruit takes. Grapes are easily S tier. The next tight end we're talking about is Tyler Higbee, and I've said it 1,000 times already, but I feel like he's interesting as well. Once you get outside of the top 3 tight ends, every single one of them is interesting to talk about. Cal, how do you feel about Tyler Higbee in Dynasty?
Okay, so first, I got completely burned by Tyler Higbee in 2020 because I was all over. I loved the way that he finished 2019, and I thought, hey, there's a really good chance that we could see them run the offense through him. I mean, I know they got some pretty good weapons there, but they did that at the end of 2019. He was great. I was promising myself I'm not going to get back on the Tyler Higbee train. And then Gerald Everett goes and signs with the Seahawks and opens up a space there. Now, I know they still have Bryce Hopkins, but I like him. I mean, I think he's got a lot of receiving chops. I think the upgrade from Goff to Stafford is a good one for him. And we saw what Stafford was able to do with a good tight end that in Detroit when he had one. I think I like. So I've got him right next to Gesicki in my rankings. I've got him ahead of Jonnu. So for me, he would fit right there in tier 5 in terms of my rankings.
Gotcha.
Damn
John
it,
Luke.
Higbee, I just can't quit you.
John Luke, do you agree with Cal, or where would you put Tyler Higbee?
I think he's a step below those guys in 5. I would put him in 6. But I like the reasoning, Cal. I think you hit the nail on the head there. I do love Stafford being there for him, and obviously Everett leaving. But yeah, I want to see it before I get as excited as some of these other guys.
There's some real hate in the chat for Higbee. Tier 7 from Sully. Jay says Higbee is below 8. But Rick coming in agreed with you, says Higbee plus Stafford equals tier 5 for me. Jay with the hard-hitting analysis, Higbee is a Hig bum. So JL, you said 6. Cal, you said 5.
People got burned bad by Higbee last year. I think that's why you're seeing a lot of reaction.
It's their fault.
I got burned by Higbee.
No reason
I got burned by DJ Moore. Like there's guys I got burned by, but when I go back and watch them, I'm reminded there's a reason I was burned by them. Like it wasn't just I was randomly excited for them. Some of these players, like I still believe in the reasons I got excited, and all the things you laid out, Cal, are why I have Higbee above every single one of the guys in tier 5. Like I think I would prefer Higbee ahead of Evan Ingram. I think I would prefer Higbee ahead of Hunter Henry. He's right there in that Robert Tonyan range for me. I still believe him. So I would put him in tier 4. So I think that averages out to tier 5. So we'll throw him in there. JL said 6. I said 4. You said 5. But yeah, I'm excited for Higbee with Stafford there in LA. I think it's going to be fun to watch. And there's a chance, like you said, I still think there is the realistic chance that they run a little bit more of that offense through him, especially with Gerald Everett gone.
The cost is pretty low too. Like he's going off the board as the 18th tight end, and there's like no way he doesn't overperform that, right? I mean, it's not a high bar to be the 18th tight end. So it's not
a high bar to be the 10th tight end. Like
right. Exactly.
Yeah, you have 140 fantasy points. You're probably in the top 12. So it's really not too difficult to hit that hurdle. We lost JL. He turned into Two-Face there for a second. Half his screen froze. But our next tight end up is Austin Hooper. JL, how do you feel about Austin Hooper?
I think I have him in the same place as I have Higbee, so tier 6.
Tier 6. Cal, what about you?
Is there like a tier like 27 or something? Like I am completely out on Austin Hooper. I think he's the 3rd best tight end on his own team. I don't like him. I am not a fan of Austin.
I agree with that as well. And I think we're going to see Harrison Bryant's role grow a lot faster than people are expecting. I just don't understand why everyone's ignoring, like, for a tight end, what a great rookie season he had. I think we're spoiled by, like, the Evan Ingram rookie year, stuff like that. Yep. Hawk starts with rookie year. Harrison Bryant had a very solid rookie year in a crowded tight end room on that Cleveland offense. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of him, and it's going to be at Austin Hooper's expense.
Man, I remember just telling everyone who would listen to me last offseason to trade Austin Hooper because he was getting that hype going to Cleveland, and I don't think the talent's there at all.
I don't think it is at all either. I think he was a product of Matt Ryan wanting to, a lot of targets there, and
he's just big.
He's big. He played a great role there in that offense. I mean, I think obviously he was better than
he's a man child.
Jay said Austin Hooper looks like he just got free sprinkles on his ice cream cone.
The chocolate.
He definitely eats cereal. Am I right? That's a man child who eats a lot of cereal.
But yeah,
no, I completely agree with what you're saying about Atlanta.
On the Browns. I hope he is. I would much rather see Harrison Bryant get targets than Austin Hooper. And David Njoku is really talented, but he kind of gets in his own way. He's kind of the guy that might need to mature a little bit. And but I like him and his talent. I hope he finds a good landing spot somewhere, or at least a good prominent role in the offense too.
Me too. I was going to say I've loved Njoku since he got drafted. I was so excited when Cleveland drafted him, but it hurts me to say I think maybe like just a new team might be what he needs. He might need a fresh start on a new team. But as a Browns fan, I would love to see him step up in this offense. But Hooper, I agree with you, Cal. If there was a tier lower than 8 on here, I'd put him lower than 8, but I'm going to put him in tier 8. Are you landing on tier 8 as well?
Yeah.
And JL, you said 6, but you got outvoted. Austin
That's
Hooper
fine.
down in that bottom tier.
As
Zach
Cal was
Ertz,
talking, I was remembering how much I didn't like Hooper, so I'm fine with that.
Sully said 100% agree with Cal. And Josh said IDK about third best tight end on the team, but I don't want him in fantasy. And Rick says Hooper has to be above Ertz, though, in my opinion. I still think that you maybe get a season from Ertz. I'm not sure you ever get another relevant season from Austin Hooper. So that's probably why I'm going Ertz. And Rick said, I just think Ertz is too high, though. Not that Hooper is tier 6. That makes sense. Jay Wall, welcome in. He says, at work, but stopping in to say what's up. As always, can't wait to watch this after work. Glad to have you in here, Jay Wall. We'll give you a little shout-outs throughout. And Jay said, I traded Hooper for Drake last offseason and traded Drake this season for Visca. So basically traded Hooper for Visca. I'll take that trade 10 days a week. That's awesome. Where do you stand on that? Are you Team Visca, Team DJ Shark? Sorry, I know people have strong opinions. Who do you think is going to have the better season next year?
Can I say Marvin Jones?
You can say Marvin Jones 100%.
I think Marvin Jones will probably have 9-10 touchdowns next year, like he always does. And I think with Trevor Lawrence, I mean, I love the idea of Laviska Shenault more than I actually think. Fantasy wise, I think he could disappoint. Just because I don't know the last time somebody that was talked about as a gadget player really was a guy that we wanted to start consistently. It's my only fear with him. If Chark can stay healthy, I love him. But obviously, poor season last year. And Marvin Jones is just so consistent. I love Marvin Jones.
Yeah, it really is.
Jay said, no, you cannot say Marvin Jones. But then he took it back, said, I actually really like Marvin Jones. He spelled actually a little. I can't really like Marvin Jones. I think I agree with you there. There was some Marvin Jones trivia on yesterday's show that I think surprised everyone with how well he actually did last year. PPR wide receiver 18 on the full season. That was a damn good year. And I haven't heard it mentioned anywhere. The next tight end we have up, though, we've talked about him a little bit whenever we were talking about potential landing spots for Kyle Pitts. We've got Hayden Hurst, the opposite of Austin Hooper. He looks like he's 45, and I think he's 23. That dude has aged poorly.
He's got arthritis in every joint for sure.
JL, where do you stand on Hayden Hurst?
I think I would put him in tier 6, maybe 7.
What about you,
6.
Cal?
I'm gonna throw him down there with Austin Hooper. To me, I think the fact that they're even. I mean, obviously, if you have a chance to draft Kyle Pitts, you're gonna do that. But I'm not. If you're already looking to replace a guy after year one, that's just not a good sign. And I didn't like what I saw with him last year. I think he's at best the third option there, but probably the fourth, even after somebody like Russell Gage or somebody like that. And who knows who else they're going to pick up in the draft here.
So Jail, you said 6, and Kyle, you said 8. Yet again, I'm gonna split the difference here. He's right around there with Zach Ertz for me. I think he probably has some relevancy, and that's what tier 7 is for me. Like, could you get a start out of him? Probably. Do you want to consistently have him as your starter? Absolutely not. Now, if Kyle Pitts goes there, that's doomsday scenario for Hayden Hurst. He'll have to find a new team, and I'm not sure there's any team where he's going to get the start.
Find a new team.
Yeah, he'll just be out there searching, put up a wanted ad on Craigslist, new team needed.
Hitchhiking on the highway.
So I'm going to put him in tier 7. Split your guys' difference, and that's where he lands. Full average.
Correctly guessed both Cal and my opinions on that last one. Tier 6 and 8.
Yeah, he got it right. And Jay said whatever tier Hurst is voted into, it should be bumped up one tier because of his advocacy for mental health. Absolutely. If this was a team like football players living what they preach,
philanthropy.
Yeah, he would be up there probably in tier 1. Hayden Hurst is very open about his past struggles with mental health and willing to talk about it candidly, like a lot of people aren't, especially these athletes. There's this idea, there's this stigma around it that you're not seen as tough. And I think in football, that's probably even exaggerated more. But I appreciate when athletes will speak out about that stuff.
Facts.
Another former first round tight end.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I can't believe they took both those guys.
In our Dynasty League, there was a guy with like the 2nd overall pick, and he needed a tight end, and he drafted Hayden Hurst in the rookie draft instead of Mark Andrews. Like, he picked the wrong Ravens tight end when Hayden Hurst, and I think he regrets that to this day. His team's never been the same. Real Deal Fantasy in here spreading lies, saying JL's the GOAT. JL, you are not the GOAT, and saying Batman is S tier.
No, that's a lie. That's a lie. Go back and watch the episode if you missed it. LQ came on and we tiered superheroes.
And Jay says, LQ, tell them Higbee belongs below tier 8, please. They won't listen. Yeah, we won't listen. Sorry. Next up, we've got Cole Kmet. We've got 3 more guys, then we got to get into the baseball movies. Cole Kmet. Cal, I'm going to let you go first on this one. Where are you putting Cole Kmet?
I'm going to disappoint the entire fantasy football.
Oh, get ready to get canceled.
Yes!
I'm ready to get canceled. I mean, I think in reality, in terms of value, I'd probably put him into tier 6 right here because I think he's more valuable in terms of dynasty trades, things like that, than any of the guys listed below him. So for me, I'd fit him in there. I just think we're still going to see, a little bit of disappointment from him this season. The Bears offense is going to be bad, right? I mean, like Andy Dalton might be the best quarterback that Allen Robinson has ever had, but that's not a huge compliment. So I'm not expecting a lot of production out of the offense, and Cole Kmet could be a fine player. I'm not ready to spend what I have to spend on him right now for my fantasy team.
JL, what about you?
Oh, LQ was like, dear God, I missed that. And then is Higbee doing it 5? Right? It should be lower.
And
I'm with
Rick
you,
saying
LQ.
Kmet only has to deal with Nagy for 1 more year, 2022 breakout. That could definitely
Probably
be true. Yeah.
But that's assuming the Bears are going to do the right thing. I'm not sure that's a great assumption. And he's going the same time right now as Hunter Henry. And you heard I'm not like huge on Hunter Henry, but to me, there's a bigger ceiling for Hunter Henry than there would be for Cole Kmet this year, for the next couple of years, I'd say.
John Luke.
I think I put him in tier 5 just for upside, but honestly, I'm fine with him in tier 6 too. I completely agree with what Cal said.
Yeah, I agree with what you said, and I just think that upside alone is going to throw him into tier 5 for me. And like you said, the point you made that I love is his value right now is through the roof. Like you're gonna get more for Cole Kmet depending on the people in your league. Like if you're in a league with Jay, you'll get more for Cole Kmet than you will for Evan Ingram, Mike Gesicki, Johnny Smith, any of those guys in tier 5, maybe even tier 4. Robert Tonyan, throw him in there. The hype for Cole Kmet is through the roof, but he is a tier 5 guy for me. Real Deal says,
Go ahead.
Why did he spell it Clement like that?
Clement.
I hate that. I hate everything about that. That's disgusting. It feels gross to say. Clement greater than Higbee. And Anthony says Clement should be higher because even though his value isn't there yet, he still should be tiered higher in Dynasty. And Josh said Cole Kmet is probably sliding into tier 5-ish for me. Too bad you're not here. LQ says get Higbee in tier 10. Sorry, man. Can't
Love
do it.
you, LQ, but no. Like that, like sometimes we get a little bit blinded by our teams. And, I know the Rams fan is disappointed in what he got from Higbee, but come on. Not below Kmet.
He says I'm drunk. This is drunk LQ just hating on Higbee. That's fair. When I get drunk, sometimes Amari Cooper used to just break my heart after I bought in every single year. But recently he's saved me a little bit, given me some reason to love him again. Next up, we've got Irv Smith. This one's interesting. I'll go first on this one. This might be crazy, but with Rudolph gone, I'm looking at these tight ends. Who would I rather have above Irv Smith? I definitely value him more than Cole Kmet just because of the situation he's in. I am somewhere between tier 3 and tier 4. I don't think I would take him over Goddard or Fant, so I think that means he lands in tier 4 for me. But Irv Smith is a tier 4 dynasty tight end in my eyes. Cal, what about you?
Yeah, tier 4 for me. I have him in the exact same tier as Robert Tonyan. And I even have Evan Ingram up there, although I know that's not going to make Jay very happy. But I think he is with that offense. Kirk Cousins certainly proved that he can sustain value for his weapons last year with Justin Jefferson. And I think that's going to open things up for Irv Smith now that he's going to be able to presumably be on the field more and command a little bit higher target share. I definitely feel more comfortable investing in him. He is so young. He's 22 years old. And that's a guy, to me, I want to invest in.
I agree. Jail, he's going in tier 4 because we got 2 votes for it. But do you agree, or would you put him somewhere else?
I would agree. I put him in 4. I do think that there's not – I said this before, but I don't think there's a huge distinction between 4 and 5 to me. My personal rankings.
LQ says 80 targets. I'm buying Irv. And then Josh said Irv Smith probably goes 3 to 4 for me, and Sully's agreeing 4 is right for Irv. And then he's letting you know real quick that Ingram is a bum.
Yep.
I just wanted to address Brady's comment. He said, what about Eric Ebron, though? He's coming, man. There will be a part 3 to this tier list. We're just going in order based on Fantasy Pros Dynasty rankings. We'll get some of those other guys in there next week to fully finish out this tier list. The last guy we've got to talk about today, though, is Logan Thomas. This is one of the players I'm most lost on where exactly to put him. John Luke, where are you putting Logan Thomas?
I think he's probably he's between tier 4 and tier 5 for me.
Tier 4 and tier 5. If you had to pick one, where are you throwing him?
Tier 5.
Tier 5. Cal, where are you putting Logan Thomas?
Here's a complete list of everyone who had more targets than Logan Thomas last year. Travis Kelce, Darren Waller. That's it.
End of story.
Yeah,
That's wild.
He's a little older. He's 29, which is the reason why I think he gets a tier drop from me because of that. So I'd put him in 4, but I would not be surprised if he was right back up there as a top 5 tight end next year. Now, long term, I'd rather be a year early than a year late. But I love what Logan Thomas did. It wasn't simply the fact that he was getting checkdowns from everybody. Like, he actually at times looked like a legitimately good wide receiver when you go back and look at the film. I really like what he is. I just don't like his age in terms of investing in Dynasty. So I still put him at 4 because I think he can give you really good weeks coming up this year.
Ricky Butt says Thomas tier 4 for me, and LQ coming in saying volume is key to speak more on your point, Cal. And Anthony saying not having anyone in tier 6 is messing up my city. We're just saving it, Anthony. Tier 6 is saved for that special player. Maybe Eric Ebron ends up there.
How about Gerald Everett? Put Gerald Everett in tier 6.
Gerald Everett is the perfect tier 6 tight end. I think I agree that Logan Thomas belongs in tier 4. That was JL who said that, right? Or which one of you said tier 4? That was JL.
Cal said tier 4.
Cal said tier 4. JL, you said tier 5. For me, just how I play Dynasty, I think my first couple years I overemphasized age too much, and so now my new philosophy is I look 2, max 3 years in the future, and I think if they're still going to be relevant in that time. I know from like a sell perspective, it doesn't do it, but so at 29, tight ends can generally like stay relevant like into their early 30s, as long as we haven't seen some signs of decline, which I don't think we've seen from Logan Thomas. So that age isn't as big of an issue for me, but he's a tier 4 tight end. And I just want to recognize he's hiding his neck from us. All the other players give us a full shot, but there's something Logan Thomas doesn't want us to see about his neck. He's a little shy about his neck over there.
He's a grower, not a shower.
Okay, guys, that's it for the tight ends today. Cal, thank you for helping us with that tight end tier list. Next up, we have some baseball movies that we got to get through. We might have to speed through some of them. So the ones that we agree on, the obvious ones, we are going to throw up there right away, and then we can debate about the other ones. I just want to start off. I like the best way to start these off is with the obvious S tiers. So I'm going to throw one out there that I think is definitely 42. An S tier movie. 42.
Yeah, Jackie
42
Robinson.
Belongs in S tier.
Day.
Yeah, Black Panther as Jackie Robinson. It doesn't get any better than that.
Yep.
42. Welcome to the S tier. Cal, are there any other movies on here that you think are obvious S tier movies?
Okay, so for me, it's hard. I was talking to you guys a little bit before the show. It's so hard to separate out the movies from the nostalgia that they create and kind of the, there's things about The Sandlot that I still talk about today. So yep. I'm a baseball coach on the side as well. And we talk about things from so many of these movies. Sandlot would be up there for me. Major League would be up there for me. And Field of Dreams.
Those are the 3. Sandlot is the one other one I was going to bring up is definitely belonging in S tier. So it's got 2 votes. JL.
I don't have it in S tier.
You don't have an S tier, but too bad you got outvoted. Why not?
I don't have the nostalgia. So
okay.
I never got attached to that movie.
Man, that was one of my favorite movies as a kid. That movie is so good.
Get your dang ball from the neighbor's yard. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. Just a little puppy.
So I have a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old that play baseball as well. So they're now experiencing these movies for the first time. And so I'm experiencing it with them and getting to watch them experience it for the first time too. And dude, Sandlot is just unreal. Like,
it's so good.
It's so good about it.
Rewatch it. Tim says JL has no time for emotions. Rick said, I knew JL would mess this up. And Jay said, of course, JL doesn't have Sandlot in S tier. You're already getting hate for that Sandlot take. JL, I need you to rewatch Sandlot and then let us know what you think. What were the other ones? You said Major League as your other S tier one. JL, do you agree with that, or where would you put Major League?
I don't think I ever saw Major League, so I'm fine with wherever.
You never saw Major League. You were giving me shit for not seeing Hardball, and you've never watched Major League.
Yeah, you should have definitely watched Hardball. Maybe I did. I don't know.
Well, just as punishment for that, I agree with you, Cal. Major League is an S tier baseball movie. It's also incredible.
So if for no other reason, like one of the things that bugs me about baseball movies is how unrealistic some of the actors are at actually playing baseball, and it's kind of funny to kind of watch them and just kind of crackle like how bad, like that's what ruins The Natural for me, is Robert Redford is not actually very good at throwing a baseball, even though he's supposed to be this like amazing pitcher. But Charlie Sheen is very, very good at baseball. As crazy as it is, like he comes into that Wild Thing music, comes down in, and he's throwing gas. Like he actually looks like he could have been a pitcher like in the minors or something. Like it's kind of unreal.
Damn. I usually don't like him.
Something else I realized going through these movies is Kevin Costner has been in a lot of baseball movies.
He loves baseball movies.
He's in so many baseball movies.
For sure.
We've already gotten some hate on one of the movies in here. Sully says, I'm a huge Red Sox fan and Fever Pitch has no business being here. I believe
being in the tier at all.
Jay also said Fever Pitch doesn't belong on this list.
It's a baseball movie.
You know what, guys? I agree with you. Fever Pitch would be an F tier baseball movie for me. JL, where would you put Fever Pitch?
It's D.
D. You acted all offended when you just had it one tier up.
It's fine. It's Jimmy Fallon. I mean, I don't care for Drew Barrymore, but come on.
To Cal's point, though, Jimmy Fallon in a baseball movie.
Fantastic. He's not the player.
I know, but do you believe that he's a huge baseball fan? Have you watched Jimmy Fallon?
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
Cal, where are you putting Fever Pitch? JL's got a D. I've got an F.
Yeah, I go F. I'm not a fan of that movie either. I'm with you.
Suck it, Jimmy. Next up, we've got a movie I have never seen, 61. Jay recommended this one, got it on the list. Have you guys seen 61?
I have not.
JL, you have not? Okay.
So Cal, this is all on you. We will defer to you solely on where 61 belongs on this list.
I have, and it's like, so what I really like about this, and this is, gosh, baseball movies cover such a wide range of what I like about them, but 61 is a really good story about just what the battle between Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle and what Roger Maris went through, because people did not want him to break Babe Ruth's record. And so it's a very good story. It opened up the eyes, I think, of my son, my 12-year-old who loves baseball, to just what really is an incredible story in Major League Baseball history. So it's very educational. It's very well done. So for me, it doesn't have that nostalgia that would put it like all the way up. But I mean, somewhere in the B or C tier is where I'd probably put that one.
Okay, you get the final call. B or C, where's it going?
Oh, let's say B.
B tier. Respect for 61. I might have to watch that one today. Sean, how you doing, man? It's been a minute. He said, what's up, guys? Hope everyone is doing well. Everything about Sandlot is amazing. Major League is amazing as well. JL, quit being a jabroni.
Get out of
That's
here,
coming
Sean.
from the mayor of Jabroniville himself, JL. So wow. You know you messed up there. Anthony, for the first time, said, no matter what happens, I'm good. This is already better than the fruit tiers. You know what? That's awesome. He
no
never
thanks
liked
to
it.
me.
JR says Fever Pitch B. And Rick says Hardball and Summer Cat should be on this list. Hardball is on this list.
I was about to say, if you left it out, I'm going to kill you.
Oh my God, I left Hardball off.
You son of a.
I'll put it in there.
One I said had to be on here.
We will put it in post-production. I'm going to add it in there. So let's just talk about Hardball. Where would Hardball go for you guys?
S.
I've never seen it. S for you. Cal, where are you putting Hardball? Oh, you're muted. We cannot hear you.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
That's one of the ones I've never seen. I've never actually seen Hardball, so I cannot comment on that one.
Okay, JL, since neither one of us has seen it, you get to put it in S tier, and in post-production, I promise I will put Hardball in S tier.
You're lying to me.
No, I promise before I post it on Twitter, Hardball's going to go in S tier, the JL special. Up next, we've got A League of Their Own. There's already been some comments in the chat about where that one belongs. Cal, what do you think about A League of Their Own?
I would absolutely say S tier for it. I mean, to me, like that's top notch. You got Tom Hanks. He's working with the same director he was with Big. It's an amazing movie. Like it's an all-star cast with Gina Davis, and you've got Madonna, and I can't even remember all the rest of them now. But it's absolutely, it belongs in the top tier. It just, for me, there's going to be so many up there. So maybe you make a case for it being A. But Tom Hanks at his absolute best. The no crying in baseball is something that we still use today. And how old is that movie?
Yeah, Craig said it already before the stream started.
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying, but it just like, if I was ranking these movies, it's nowhere near like Sandlot and 42 for me. So I would put it in A. JL, what about you? A or S? Or are you putting it even lower? A?
It's A.
Okay. A League of Their Own ends up in A. Jay says, of course, the one movie nobody has ever seen. JL has S tier.
That's baloney. Plenty of people have seen Hardball.
I actually cry every time I watch Hardball.
Go watch it, and you will see that it's the best movie ever created. And if you don't cry, then you're a cold, cold man.
Anthony says Basketball got snubbed. I brought Basketball up, but I was told it was not a baseball movie. It was a basketball movie, and so it couldn't go on this list. So whenever we do Basketball tiers, it'll be a really short episode, but because I think it'll be just basketball. But yeah, it did get snubbed. We got to run through some of these. Angels in the outfield. JL, where are you going with that one?
I think it's A or S. Where's Field of Dreams?
It's on here.
Field of Dreams should absolutely be S. If you can watch Field of Dreams, and when he asked his dad to play catch with him at the end, and you can watch that and not get a little bit misty-eyed, like you don't even have a soul. Like you just, go see a doctor or something.
No arguments for me. Field of Dreams is S tier. Angels in the outfield, I would put B tier. It's fine. It doesn't have that like extreme nostalgia factor for me that some of these do. Cal, JL, you said S.
I said A or S, yeah.
A or S. Cal, where are you putting Angels in the outfield?
I would go A for Angels in the outfield. Really good movie, but it's not quite at the level that I would say the other ones are.
Okay, Bad News Bears. John Luke, where are you putting Bad News Bears? I have a feeling you're gonna hate this one. It just seems like a movie that you don't like.
It's fine. It's like B or C.
Cal, JL said B or C. Where are you putting it?
That's going to be A for me. It's classic. Like Bad News Bears is like, I have coached teams like Bad News Bears. And so there's something for me that is like, it just hits me in the right spot, but it's it's a great story, an underdog story. And don't we just love underdog stories?
I feel like every baseball movie is an underdog story.
Yeah.
I agree with you though. It's A tier for me. Sorry, JL. JR agrees with us. His Field of Dreams is S+++. And Jay said Cal has fantastic taste in baseball movies. Liking your take. Bench Warmers. I put Bench Warmers in A, and I know you guys probably aren't going to like that, but it's just so funny. I love Bench Warmers.
It's A. Put it in A.
Cal?
F. I hate that movie. I think it's awful.
Manana!
I just laugh so hard every time I watch it.
That's so funny.
But you got outvoted. You said F, but we both said A. Benchwarmers ends up in A tier. Sorry for your name's going to be attached to this now. People are going to assume you like that movie. Bull Durham, another one I have never seen, but that Jay recommended get on here. Cal, have you seen Bull Durham?
Yeah, absolutely. Bull Durham is, I mean, it's classic. I mean, it's more than just a baseball. There's a really good story there. Again, Kevin Costner doing baseball things. It seems to work well. I'd put it in the A tier. It's, you know what? I'd probably put it in the B tier. I think I'd put it right below those movies. Great watch. Not as entertaining as the other ones, but really, really good.
B tier it is. JL might have to jump in a second, Cal, and you and I will have to wrap this up, but he's got the worst takes anyways on these baseball movies.
Can we do the movies I've seen?
Yeah. So which one of these do you want to look at next?
Moneyball and The Rookie and Rookie of the Year.
Moneyball.
I don't think I've seen the other.
And The Rookie. Moneyball, JL. Where would you put Moneyball?
Moneyball is A.
A? Cal, are you agreeing with that, or do you think Moneyball belongs somewhere else?
Okay, Moneyball is one I'd put S because and it's more because I also just appreciate like acting and directing and things like that. Yeah. And it is super well done. The chemistry between Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill,
it's
yeah, Billy Beane is kind of a legend, and when it comes to identifying the stats that really matter in baseball, so it just for me that's top tier.
You brought up exactly what I was going to say between Jonah Hill and Brad Pitt. That's such an unlikely duo in my mind, and it works so well. Moneyball's S tier for me. Rookie of the year, Cal, where are you going on that one?
To me, it fits right in with those in tier A. I love the movie. It's really funny. You know, the Rowan Gardner and all that stuff where you can't pronounce his name. It's a lot of classic lines, a lot of great things mixed in there. And at the end, when he throws the ball up and gets the strikeout, it's fantastic.
Spoiler alert. I'm just kidding. If anyone hasn't seen Rookie of the Year, it's too bad if it got spoiled for you. JL, are you agreeing with A, or where would you put Rookie of the Year?
I would put it in A or S. I really did like that movie growing up. I don't know if it's quite S tier, but Sandlot's up there, so that makes me think it maybe should be.
You're such a
A is fine.
A is where I would put it. It's not quite Sandlot levels for me, but it is a really good movie. And JL, we'll come to you first on this one. The Rookie, the last one that you said you've seen. Where are you putting that one?
I think this is an A.
Cal, do you agree with that?
I think it's probably more in the B tier. Like it's very
cookie cutter.
Durham.
You said B. Yeah, I'm gonna go B as well. That's where I have it. JL, you said that was the last one you had seen, but you got 2 minutes left. You can have a strong opinion on some of these. Next up, we've got Ed. The classic with Joey Tribbiani and a monkey. Jay specifically said this was his favorite baseball movie of all time. It had to be on the list, so Ed is on there. Cal, have you ever seen Ed?
Did someone really say this was their favorite baseball movie of all time?
No, he said it as a joke to include it on the list, and then I threw it on there just so I could say that on stream.
I'll put it below Fever Pitch.
Do we move Fever Pitch up to D just so Ed can be alone in F tier by itself?
Yeah.
I have to see this movie now.
Ed, welcome to F tier. We're in agreement on that. 8 Men Out. Honestly, guys, Cal right before the stream reminded me to put this one on the list. I sent him over the list. He said, "What about 8 Men Out?" Incredible movie. It's so good. And the book, if you've never read the book, is also phenomenal. Maybe the best sports book I've ever read. Like, honestly, 8 Men Out might be S tier for me. It's just such a cool movie, and it's based on a true story. Like, it's just an awesome story that you get to live through the movie, and they do a really good job representing it. Cal, where are you going with that?
Yeah, for me, it's S tier. That's why I, brought it up to you. And it is, and the acting is really good. Like the story is well done. But the fact that it's got a book that really is even maybe better, just makes it like that much better to me. So yeah, absolutely.
S tier as well. JL, have you seen it?
I have not.
Well, then you get outvoted. 8 Men Out in S tier. Man, there's a bunch of S tier baseball movies. There's some good ones. I feel like the baseball movies category is way better than the football movies. Like, there's only a couple good football movies. Tim Wright said, "Why can't the MLB make baseball as fun as in the movies?"
That's hilarious.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I really struggle watching it on TV sometimes. And Rick agreed with us at S tier. Sully also said S tier. And Rick was saying 8 Men Out is super underrated. We were getting a bunch of Ed hate going on it. And Tim had a hot take on Ed, said never seen it, but Monkey.
Yeah,
that might be enough just to push it above Jimmy Fallon down there.
All right, guys, I have to hop.
You're hopping out with one last movie. Cal, we will finish this up. It's just me and you now.
Thank you, Cal.
The last movie we've got on the list is For Love of the Game. Where are you putting that one?
This one is one that I feel like just blends in with other ones. There's nothing that really stands out for me. And maybe I'm missing something. Maybe that's a piece of my, baseball movie knowledge that needs to, get better. But for me, it would be kind of in that C tier. It's not a bad movie. It just, I don't know, there's anything that's defining about it that I can remember.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. This is just like this is the one I always forget Kevin Costner's in. Know what I mean? Like, I just feel like this is the most stereotypical Kevin Costner baseball movie. It's like a solid C for me. There's nothing disagreeable about it, but it's just not good. I'm going to put this in C. Cal, you are getting some serious love in the chat. Usually people hate our tier lists, but they're giving you all the credits. And I'm very happy with this list. Very surprised. Cal is a legend. We had one other one in there. And then Anthony said, this is the best tier list so far, for real. this is unheard of. We don't get comments like this on our tier list. So thank you for coming on and doing this. I'm pretty happy with this. And going through this, I haven't seen these movies in years. I think it's been at least 3 years since I've seen any single one of these movies. It's reminded me I probably need to go back and watch them. I'm jealous that you've been watching them with your son recently.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's like reliving like parts of that childhood. And it's amazing actually how many, I mentioned the Behind the Grind. I'll bring it all back around for us and tie everything in. The Behind the Grind thing that we did. It's amazing how many people in the fantasy football industry got their start by loving baseball statistics, like thinking about things like that. And that really, for me too, like I still love baseball, but I loved it growing up. What was kind of my first love, and falling in love with the stats, keeping track of the stats, looking at those advanced stats. That kind of is what got me into really being interested in fantasy football and looking behind the numbers and things like that too.
Yeah, I feel like baseball has been ahead of the curve when it comes to the major sports on like advanced analytics, advanced statistics. So a lot of the stat heads definitely got their start over there in baseball. Yep. It's definitely interesting saying that. If you talk to a bunch of the fantasy football OGs, that is where they got their start, where their passion lied. But for sure, Roto Heat Sully said Cal needs to be on every week. This is watchable. And then Anthony said, have Cal redo the fruit tier, please. We'll have to have you back on for tiers. You're a hit with the crowd for tier lists. And then Rick said that was definitely my entry point. My nickname in high school was the Baseball Almanac. Almanac, tomato. I don't know how you say it.
I think me and Mr. Butts would get along, it sounds like.
Probably. Rick is a good guy. Gets along with most people, and you guys both got that baseball connection. Cal, I wanted to thank you so much for coming on today. Sorry we went a little bit over, but we just had to get through that baseball tier list.
No, thank you so much for having me. And really, it was a lot of fun. Love what you guys are doing. Keep up the awesome work. And if anybody doesn't have plans for the draft, DLF on the YouTube channel, we're going to be watching. We're going to do a live watch of the draft with some really great names, great people breaking down the picks and what it means for our dynasty leagues and things like that. So.
Awesome. Absolutely, guys. Make sure you tune in for that. And make sure you're following Cal on Twitter at Calvin and Hobby. You can see it on the screen right there under his name. Absolutely excellent follow. Puts out awesome stuff through Dynasty Vipers and DLF over there. You guys don't want to miss out on it. If you're not following him already, I don't know what you're doing. But make sure you go do that. Cal, this was awesome. We are going to have you back on. Truly fan favorite, already happening. People just keep on coming in saying how much they loved having you on for tiers today.
I had fun. It was awesome. It was great. You guys, seriously, I love what you guys are doing. Like you guys it's a very unique thing right now in the fantasy football world, putting out different content. Everybody does the same thing over and over again, but you guys are doing something different and I love it. It's great. I
really appreciate it. I think we started doing that and we got bored and we were like, if we're bored, then I imagine anybody trying to watch our stuff is bored too. Yep. So we realized we like playing games and we went this way. Rick said fantasy baseball is just too hard being every day. Yeah. The one time I tried to play, I got lost about a month in, couldn't keep up with it. It was a bit too much for me. And Jay said I play weekly. That probably makes it a bit easier. The format that Sleeper put out for fantasy basketball this year, I think other people do it, but it made fantasy basketball like playable for me for the first time. Like I really struggled keeping up with it, but just picking one game a week for your lineup really made it it made fantasy basketball fun for me for the first time. So
I was hesitant on it, but I jumped in and played fantasy basketball for the first time in forever. And yeah, I do love picking one game. It really is a good format.
Makes it a bit more like what we're used to with fantasy football.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Josh is not here, so I'm going to say what Josh always says, guys. You know what it is. Trading makes fantasy fun. Cal, do you have anything else you want to say before we jump off?
No, just check us out there on the stream. Check out the Behind the Grind series. And the thing about the Behind the Grind series, you don't have to be. It's not like current events. Like you can just go back and listen to the stories of these guys. So check out Dynasty Vipers YouTube channel. It's really really great stuff.
Absolutely, guys. Make sure you're doing that. We will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time, guys. We are going to be playing brackets tomorrow. I imagine today went really smoothly. Cal's not going to be here tomorrow, so it probably won't go as smoothly for brackets. But tune in anyways. Let us know what you think. We will see you then. Adios, everybody.